and you boxed with that a few months ago. All right, welcome to the first episode of the Believe You Can podcast. We are focused around but not limited to sports, and this is beneficial for both sides. This is not just something I do for me. I am actually passionate about giving back and helping the community that we live in and even the online social community motivate, inspire, and help each other grow as people. And I want to give the chance for more people like our guest today, Devin, to come on and promote his beliefs, ideas, businesses, and whatever he's doing with his life. So thank you for listening or watching, whatever way you're taking this in. And support the pod. Check out Devin on his Facebook at Superfly MMA, and I hope you enjoy the interview. Thank you. All right, I'm here with Devin Mazik, and we're going to talk about his gym and his fighters and his MMA career. Uh, tell yourself, tell the people a little about yourself.
Hi, I'm Devin Mazik. I'm the head coach at SUPERFLY MMA. I started running the gym in 2016, so it's been about 4 years now that we've been running pretty good. I have two assistant coaches, Aaron Quatrochi and Artie Thompson. Aaron's 11-3 as a pro boxer. He's fought for a world title just last summer. It was 12-round brawl. Man, he took it to him. Close fight, didn't get the win, but it is what it is. We'll move on. As far as the gym goes, it's great. If anyone is interested in boxing, MMA, this is the spot. We are the best gym in the area. I don't know many other gyms out there, and it's hard to find. We have great coaching staff, and the fighters, oh man, they're awesome. Everyone's tough. We have a lot of guys coming up that you gotta watch out for. Definitely gotta watch out for them.
Yeah, that's what I was just saying right before we started recording, that I heard of you guys through Hunter, and he competed in the Tough Man, and did he came in like runner up, didn't he? Like second or
Yeah,
third place?
we got second.
Yeah, that's
Did great. Did great.
yeah, that's really good. And
Hmm.
you also held a title in MMA too, right? When you were
Yeah.
competing?
Hmm.
Uh, all right. What organization was that through?
High Cage Combat. It was in 2014. I won the title literally like 2 weeks after I graduated college from Heidelberg University. So so I won by second round TKO.
So how long you mentioned that you were in an accident and you haven't fought since then?
I actually competed in a boxing match in December, but yeah, I was hit by a truck on my motorcycle. So ironically, right after that title fight and I graduated college, the first thing I did was go buy a motorcycle. I was like, boom, I got to treat myself. I got a degree. Guys, I just got my first belt in MMA. Like I was stoked. Uh, so I went and bought a Ninja 300. It was a little baby bike, but I bought it brand new right off the lot, and then I got hit by a truck that ran a red light in 2000. I think it was 18. Yep, October 7th. So it took me until December to actually compete again, but it was only boxing, and I was really struggling, even though I was back, but it's hard. My leg is really messed up. You've seen the pictures; it's pretty bad.
Yeah, I heard Dakota, I think it was one of your fighters, talking about how gruesome it was on Casey's podcast.
Oh yeah, oh
Yeah.
yeah.
And
One, I wasn't gonna make it.
what gave you the passion and the drive to train other athletes when you had a pretty successful career yourself?
Well, it's a long story, but I'm gonna tell it. So I never envisioned or ever wanted to be a coach or run a gym. This was not my goal. It's not my plan, but it worked out, and I love it. Okay, so originally, like I was training at Demolition Fight Team, and that was up where I went to school. After I graduated college, I needed to pay bills and do everything, and you have to get ready to be in the real world. And I got a contract with this like Team Bad Dog. They were paying like, I don't know, $350 a week or something like that. And then things fell through. I had to come home and take care of my mom. She got sick, and help out, just to help out the family. Everything was just, it was just a rough time for me at that point. Didn't really know what direction I wanted to take my career. I was interviewing for jobs left and right. I what I went to school for was political science, so it wasn't like I just hop out of college and know the exact job that I'm going into, like if you were to be a doctor. So my spectrum was broad, and I just was trying things out. When I moved home, I was training anywhere I could because I didn't have a gym. I went down to Wheeling Bullpen. Went down to the Academy in Pittsburgh. Well, back then it was Pittsburgh Fight Club. And where else did I go? I went to Wolfpack Boxing for a little while, just hopping around. And when I'm working 10, 12-hour shifts, I started working in gas and oil fields down here. And you get off work and you're just dead. You have to drive an hour and a half to get to practice, train, fight people, wake up and go and do it again. It's hard. It's really hard. I mean, that's fight life for you, but uh, so I decided that it was a better idea for me to just, instead of making the trip all the way out to these gyms to train, half the time I'm not getting the right training that I need to be getting because I'm exhausted and tired, or I just don't make it to the right practices. It just sucked. So I decided I was going to get one of my buddies. I thought I was good enough of a fighter to teach other amateurs and see if I could build up a team, and then I'd have all my training partners and everything I need right here. And that's exactly how it's been working out. I started with one fighter. His name was Kyle Moffitt, and he was a one and done, but it is what it is. Helped started me
There's a
off. He's
lot of
one and
those in
zero.
this area.
Oh yeah, but yeah.
I'm one of
But
them.
hmm.
I had one amateur fight on, and at the time, that's originally where was training, was the Pittsburgh Fight Club, which is ironic how me and you never ran into each other when we have so many other acquaintances that in the short amount of time I've talked to you, it seems like we know so many of the same amount of people. But
And we could have just been timing. I wasn't in there that much. I was in there like probably like for 4 months straight, like 3 days, 3 days a week, 2 days a week here and there. It was hard. It was hard to get up there all the time.
yeah, I drove up after I turned 18 for probably like 8 months or so, and then I had my first amateur fight, and then life went other ways, but that's for another podcast. um,
But that's the other thing too. People don't understand is life gets in the way. Uh, shit happens and you got to take care of it. You can't just train. I mean, some people go out to take fights and don't train, but it's not me. I have to be training.
oh, the kid I fought, I if he hears this, I'm sorry, but he did not train at all. Like after the fight when I won with 51-second TKO, and
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, after the fight, I was like, man, you really should have tried to grapple. Like that's like, because he landed good shots on the feet, and I have a grappling background, and it was just,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, it's time to wrap you up and finish this. I'm not gonna get hurt, like, but it was bad, and that's
Hey,
how
some
most
people.
of the people are around here. So if you could say something to the locals of Weirton and like the parents mainly, what, like, to get them to believe in you for training their kids, what would you say?
Ask anyone else I've trained or that has been to the gym what it's like. They'll tell you firsthand. I mean, obviously, those results are more valuable than what I can say. Um, but a lot of people have a real bad there's a stigma with fighting, and I don't understand it. It's it's like almost as if everyone thinks MMA is barbaric, and that when you come to a fight gym that you have to fight the first day you show up, and you do not. Absolutely not. Coach, you're going to be coached. There's coaches here. You're going to be taught things first, like defense, how to block, how to move, head movement, proper stance, proper way to throw a punch, like a jab, a cross, a hook, everything. Uh, and we're going to do a lot of conditioning. Training in our gym, it's tough. It's hot. We're not gonna turn the AC on for you. Fighting is hard. So welcome to it. If you want to be a fighter, you got to go through it.
And it's also good to know that, you can go down and take these classes and get in good shape, and you don't have to fight either. You don't have to be one of
No,
those people that go in there and fight.
absolutely not. Just because we're labeled as a fight gym doesn't mean you have to actually compete. You can still come in and train with us. I invite people. I welcome all people, anyone, all ages. I mean, obviously, when it comes to kids, I want to start them at least 7 years old, because any younger, they don't pay attention, they don't care, they're there to play, and I don't want to be a babysitter. Also, it's hard. The, for kids, it's hard. It's not like
Oh
I
yeah.
don't know.
There's
Everyone's like
very
told
few
not to,
that pick it up good.
and I'm over here telling you to hit people. So it's different. It's a different world. I actually worked my way into the juvenile detention centers around here. This place called it's the Alternative Learning Center for Brooke County and Hancock County have both reached out to me, and they want to have me. They had me come into the school for a little while, but I decided I want them to come to the gym instead, because the atmosphere changes things for them. So that was a big one. I never thought I'd ever be in a school system. Like it's pretty much I'm a teacher there, but for martial arts, and that's sweet. I mean, that's kick ass.
You were also assistant wrestling coach at Indian Creek.
Yeah, back can't remember exact years, but my brothers were in school there too. So it was when they were wrestling. Um, since I run the gym now, it's kind of hard for me to be an assistant wrestling coach there, run the gym, be a coach here, and spend all my time, you know.
So,
But
so your foundation in martial arts is wrestling?
yes, that's where I started. I started wrestling when I was in high school, when I was a freshman, and yeah, I was horrible. It was my freshman year. I was bad. Like I didn't know anything. So um, I was a district qualifier by my sophomore year, and I made All American my junior year. And then I went on to college to wrestle at Heidelberg University. I only wrestled for 1 year in college. I wanted to go to a bigger school, but I was also afraid to fail. I kind of like to party, so it was kind of like a smarter move on my academic, you know. So after I only wrestled for that 1 year, and then I decided to buy a house and just go to school and work and live the college life. And then like 6 months later, I was like, oh man, you're doing nothing but drinking beer, getting fat, and I missed the mat. So I ended up going out to Demolition Fight Team just to wrestle. Didn't want to do anything else. Told these guys I didn't want any business with fighting. I didn't know how to fight because I had experiences when I was younger where you just walked in to a fight gym and they actually did throw you in to fight. And I got my nose broke the first day. Shit sucked. I was like, they're like, oh, you're a good wrestler. They're like, you send them in there. And then that's another reason why I do things the way I do here, because I had bad experiences before. So when I went to Demolition, started just wrestling with them, and after like 2 months, I got a fight. I wasn't planning on it at all. I was like, nah, I'm good, I'm cool, cool. And then about a month in, I was like, all right, I want to fight. Let's go.
Yeah, that was actually my next question. I was gonna say, like, with wrestling being your foundation, I've seen most of your wins are like TKOs, punches, and then you boxing too. So, like, did you? Is that just something you fell in love with?
I don't know. I think so. I think I just found that I like to hit people, and it's fun. And no one wants to watch a wrestling match because I won 100. I go, you can win 100 wrestling matches, and no one knows your name. You win one fight, and the whole world tells you good job. It's
Yeah,
just a
that
fact. I won.
yeah.
I won so many wrestling matches, and people were like, "Well, who's that guy?" I won one fight, and they were like making posters and put me on billboards, asking me to come talk to people like you. No one gives a shit about wrestling. Uh,
Yeah, true. True. You have training experience and friendships with UFC fighter Kama Worthy. and
Yeah.
Jordan Espinoza. Let's talk about
hmm
those a little.
Okay, so I trained with Jordan. I don't know. I would say about 3 years or so when he lived up in Findlay, Ohio, with Gary Young, who was my coach. Um, and yeah, I was I was training with him for a while. At one point in time, we were even living in the same house. It was fun. It was a good
That's a
time.
good experience. That kid's a fireball in the ring, in the cage.
Oh, oh man, he was him and all the guys in the gym. It was a tough practice. Tough practice. Um, Superfly, actually, Steve Smith, so Superfly, if anyone doesn't know this, was an actual person. He was my training partner. He committed suicide in 2016, and that's why I named the gym Superfly MMA. But yeah, between me, Jordan, Superfly, Huffman, Joe, all these guys, it was just a killer room. Bulldozer, even though Bulldozer's a bitch. Uh, but yeah, Jordan's tough. Jordan's real tough. He's fast. He was a state champ wrestler. He's got great wrestling. He's athletic as fuck. Uh, and
Yeah,
he's
he's real good.
mm-hmm.
I think he's still I think he lost his last one or the one before that, but I think he's still top 10 in the UFC, which is the world. So
I think he's 12 right now. He fights in 2 weeks, so we'll see how that fight goes. I can't wait to watch. I don't know much
against
about his name either, so don't grill me on that. But
uh,
yeah, he needs to. His last fight was against Alex Perez, and that dude's a fucking monster.
yeah, Alex Perez is good too. I think his next fight is Del Rosa or something like that or
Yeah.
okay, yeah. And then Kama, a lot of people unless if you're a hardcore fan of the sport, a lot of people don't know about Kama yet. But that
Oh,
man,
and it's game. You should know about
uh,
Kama,
yeah,
but I know he took his UFC debut was a short notice fight that he just took. He didn't have a contract. He wasn't in. He just took it on last minute against Devontae Smith, who was actually from Ohio. So that was kind of huge. Being a Pittsburgh fighter, fighting a guy that's from like Columbus, Ohio, in the UFC, jumping in, and they actually trained together for a while prior to that. Like, I mean, I don't know if it was for a while, but I know they have trained together before, so they kind of had a little taste for what was coming in.
how often do you train with Kama?
We were going up every other Friday for sparring.
What are the
We
rounds
tried.
like with him?
Oh, I can't. I'm too little for that. No way. But I have a couple guys. One guy named Christian Getzy, who's been giving him some good work. Then my assistant coach Aaron Quattropi, he's been going up and working with a lot of guys, just boxing for him. But yeah, those
Yeah,
guys are top up there. They know their stuff. I like them all. They're very nice people.
yeah, when I was up there, I trained with Adam Milstead and Mark Cherica, and they were great people, and they were both high level fighters, both that made it to the UFC level. So
Jordan's contender series fight, crazy. Snoop Dogg was the
yeah,
commentator. Oh, that was so
yeah,
cool.
when him and Uriah were doing that, they need to bring that back. Like, who's your biggest inspiration in MMA? Who would you say makes you the most motivated, gives you the most inspiration to do this? Why do you do it? Is it somebody like your friend that committed suicide maybe, or is it Dominic Cruz since you're a 35er? Who would you say gives you the most motivation and inspiration?
I'm not sure. A person individually, I don't think a person individually gives me my inspiration. I think I have developed it on my own. Like I don't really look to somebody to be inspired to be an MMA fighter. I just am one.
That's that's an acceptable answer. I just asked that question because you see a lot of guys, I guess the guys that we grew up watching, and like a lot of the guys they refer to Chuck Liddell or Randy Couture or you know,
Someone that so say somebody that I looked at whenever I first started getting into it before I was a fighter, definitely was Chuck Liddell. I love Chuck Liddell. Rashad Evans, Rampage Jackson, Forrest Griffin, Anderson Silva, definitely Anderson Silva. Uh, yeah, I mean, that's just like the beginning of UFC. It was just like huge, and so like, yeah, I guess that would be, you can count all those guys, but like an actual impact personally to me would just be, I don't know, just everyday life, just how I am. Grew up a
That's
little
a
rough.
great answer. You said you want to return to fighting in MMA eventually. Uh, say you get in the UFC eventually. What would be what would be the one dream fight that you could actually see yourself winning stylistically? Because styles make fights. You got to give us
Well,
something spicy because
that's a good one. All right,
when you
I
make
got
it,
one for you.
yeah, when you
Stylistic.
make it, they're gonna bring this interview up and they're gonna be like, "This guy was talking shit since the minute
Ah,
this started."
oh man, there you go. All right. Let's see. Stylistically, who do I want to knock out? Henry Cejudo.
That's a good one. I can't believe he just retired like after
Um, he'll be
TKO and
back.
Dominic Cruz.
He'll be back. He'll be
I
back.
think so too.
I think in about like 6 months he'll be back. So wait till somebody else comes in and then make somebody else relevant, and then maybe he'll be back. No way. No way he's done.
I see him if Volkanovski defends again against Holloway. I see him trying to fight him because Holloway or Volkanovski is such a small 45er, like size, like height wise. It gives
Mm-hmm.
Henry like Holloway, Ortega. Those guys are way too long for Henry, but Volkanovski is
Yeah.
a
Fuck
like
fighting tall people. I can't stand them long asses when I'm short. I only got like, I'm only 5'5", so kind of sucks when you fight somebody that's 6'1", 6'2", and you got bird arms.
you're 135 though, so there's not that much of them. It would suck fighting like a Sean Malley though, or
Mm-hmm.
O'Malley. That's
I
how you
like to
do it.
fight at 25 mostly. The only reason I fight at 35 is just to get a fight. Making 35 ain't shit. Like take a shit and I'm there. You know, you can make
Yeah.
125. It takes a little while to make 25. It kind of sucks, but it makes me like work harder, train harder, clean my diet up, and do everything right. I get lazy if I fight at 35.
For
Fat if I
sure.
fight
Just
at.
all your tapology says 35, so I apologize for that.
Oh no, you're
Um,
fine. I've only fought 2 fights at 25.
it's probably pretty hard to find people around here. It's even hard in the UFC for them to get fights at 125. So, as a coach, I'm gonna ask. This is a question that I'm interested in hearing the answer to. What? How would have you reacted if you were in Anthony Smith's corner during that Glover Teixeira fight?
Mm-hmm. Well,
Knowing that your athlete is like Anthony Smith though, like knowing that
you got to know
he's
your
like
fighter. You got to know your guy out there. Like
yeah,
every coach knows their fighter very very well. We know when they're hurt. We know what they can handle because we see it in the room. Uh, I mean, you can argue all day about the referee if they should have stopped it or whatnot, but when a guy comes back to the corner and he's like, my teeth are falling out. I mean, he's a tough dude. I don't know. I wouldn't call it. I would. I don't think they did anything wrong. They let him fight because I'd be as a fighter, I'd be pissed as fuck if my coaches told me fight's off because you're hurting, and I'm like, you don't know what I'm feeling. I'll tell you when the fight's off, motherfucker. you know. I think me being a fighter prior and now being a coach is huge. There's a lot of people out there that have never fought before and they try to be coaches, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't think that's a good idea.
yeah. I mean, a few of them got like the the wizard talent in their heads, like the Greg Jacksons of the worlds that never actually competed, but they like might have like some like small like amateur competition, I guess, and they just like become wizards of coaching. But
Yeah, they know how to motivate, they know how to push you. That's why. But
yeah,
I
but
think
I
being a fighter
agree.
is definitely important.
Yeah, I definitely think that the experience and the perspective that you bring to being a coach would benefit a lot of people that are trying to actually be cage ready, especially early on. Because the the walk that you're doing as a fighter for the first time, like I've done it, it's a crazy feeling. Like when you come out of the little
Your
shitty
first walk?
fucking,
Oh,
oh
you know what I
yeah.
did my first walk? I ran. That's how nervous I was. I didn't even walk. Like it was just like take off, jog straight to get into the cage. Let's go. Let's get this fight on.
I was so nervous that I had to create like a beef with my opponent. Like everything was fine. There was no issues. And as I start walking out to the cage, I'm just like, this motherfucker's trying to embarrass me. Like, okay,
Yep.
like, and I just
Got
start
to.
like yelling shit at him. Like, I'm just like, I'm gonna fuck you up. Like, and he's like, whoa, like we were just shaking hands backstage, dude. Like, what the fuck?
You want to see something right now? Now that you say big bully MMA. Oh, by the way, I'm in the gym, and this is part of it. Kind of can't see him right now, but that is big bully.
Look at that. My dad will like that one.
Yeah. Poster. Yeah. So they were gonna Bronco, and then we're gonna take over and do the MMA stuff at our building that we're in right now. But he decided he didn't want to do it. This is another fun fact. I can't wait to get him back here. He's fought in Bellator before. Bronco Busick.
Yeah, he fought at the one that was in Mountaineer, or was that with that
Mm-hmm.
one? Okay, yeah. I seen that they came maybe what, like a year or two ago, something like that, maybe like
Mm-hmm.
roughly. But I didn't get to go to that one. But yeah, he's a beast. He was the headliner on the card that I fought on, and the guy like the it was fight night, ready to go, and the guy just chose not to show up and texted Nick and was like, "Yeah, I'm not coming in. Like it's not happening." And
He pulled out
Bronco
the
had
attack. Oh my god.
yeah, Bronco had to like actually get on the mic in the cage and like apologize to everybody because he knew everybody was there to see, like watch his fight, and it was a shit show. Because then like the rest of the crowd just got shit faced and they were just talking shit to the rest of the fighters. Like they were just like, you're not fucking Bronco, so we don't like you. Like it was a shit show. Pretty much covered most of the stuff. Is there anything else that you want to say about your promotion or what you want to do with the gym or anything like that?
Yeah. So, uh, if anyone out there wants to get involved in MMA or boxing, just come out and give us a shot. Come out and give it a try. I get kind of tired of hearing people talk about it, but not actually be about it. If you're gonna talk to me about it, let's ante up. Let's go. Come on. What are you waiting for?
And where can they find you? Social
Downtown
and
1009 Main Street, right next to the Irish Pub. You can find us on Instagram at Team Superfly MMA and on Facebook, Superfly MMA.
what did you think of Gilbert Burns' performance last night?
He did phenomenal. He did great.
Yeah, I don't think
Holy shit.
most people expected that fight against Tyron Woodley, although he definitely used the blueprint that Usman laid to fight him and just keep it on him and never let Woodley get started.
Mm-hmm.
But it's
That first,
crazy.
if that first round, if Woodley didn't have such a bad first round, I think that really screwed his game up. He never really bounced back.
Yeah, he never bounced back, and the he had that guillotine like sunk in at the end of the first round, and if there was like another 30 seconds or so, like I don't think he would have been like so high. He would have like worked a little slower and like got in the right position instead of rushing it because he knew that the 10-second clapper just happened. So I feel like he might have ended that if there was another 45 seconds left in that first round. It was crazy. And then he dropped him again in the fourth round. And I mean, that was, to me, that was more of a dominating performance over Tyron Woodley than Usman, because Usman just pressured him, kept hitting him, kept taking him down. I don't think I really seen Woodley get rocked though, like stumble around and be hurt against Usman. But against Burns, he like the first real flurry that Burns landed, he was on spaghetti legs, stumbling, and then Burns just grabbed a hold of him and threw him to the mat, like literally just grabbed him and
And
threw him
he
down.
took him down multiple times. And Woodley's not easy to take down. Uh, he's strong, big dude. He was a tough wrestler too. He's
Yeah, he
got
defended what 22 takedowns against Damian Maia in that
they
title
got like a
fight.
4.5% takedown defense. That was his percentage for not getting taken down. 94% of the time he doesn't get taken down. Holy
Yeah,
shit.
that's Gilbert kind of fucked his
Yeah.
plans up.
So yeah, that kind of sucks.
Yeah, what do you think's next for Tyron, and what do you think's next for Gilbert as far as opponents?
Not sure. Not sure. We'll see how it works out. I don't know. It sucks. I went to a Tyrone Woodley seminar a couple years ago. Kind of wanted him to win, but I didn't know much about this Burns guy, and he's kind of shocked me. He did great.
I watched him lose a couple times at 155 in the UFC, and so I wasn't really sure how he was gonna be at 170 fighting bigger guys, but I guess I mean it's just some people are just cutting way too much weight.
Could be. Could be.
Um,
Weight cuts. Weight cutting weight.
I'll tell you what I would like to see as a fan. I would like to see the Tyron Woodley versus Colby Covington fight finally happen, just because of that feud and rivalry and how much shit is talked. And then I think
Yep.
that uh, Gilbert Burns probably deserves like the title shot right now, or Leon Edwards, but Leon Edwards is a hard fight to sell because nobody really knows who he is and nobody really knows who Gilbert Burns is. At least if one of them get the title shot, they
The
know who the champion
other
is.
takes.
One last question before I let you go. One thing that
Yeah.
I was interested in knowing. So you in that accident that you had, you broke your leg in 8 places?
Oh, you want to see it?
Yeah,
All right.
let's see it.
I show everyone. Sorry, I don't mean to move the camera.
You're good. And you boxed with that a few months ago.
Uh, yeah.
Oh my.
Fucking nuts, right?
Now will that ever be back to like a normal shin right there? Or
Who
is it
knows?
gonna
I have no idea. I have a titanium rod in that bitch though, and I can't. That's the first thing I said once they told me they were putting a rod in my leg. It's like I can't wait to throw some leg kicks. Oh, kick!
yeah.
My leg's still so tender, dude. Uh, I have such a hard time with like grappling or wrestling. Not sometimes because of my mobility and my strength and my balance, but a lot of the time because my skin can't handle it and it rips and tears or gets irritated. Uh, it's going to be a long process, a long haul. If I'll ever come back to MMA, I don't know. If not, I'll just run with boxing, see where that takes me.
It's for the love of it anyway. And if you come
Yeah,
back, let
absolutely.
let me know and I'll be paying attention and I'll buy tickets.
Worst
But
case scenario, I don't ever come back to fighting and I just coach and create fighters. And then I'm still helping, still there, still doing it, still training with the guys. You know, when these guys go through fight camp, I'm going through fight camp with them. I'm training with these guys. I'm sparring with them, doing the best I
yeah,
can with it. I'm trying to build something here. I'm trying to build a team. I'm not trying to just make money on it on whoever shows up with my door. Yeah, I need money to pay the bills, but I'm not trying to get rich off of anyone that walks through. I'm trying to create something. I'm trying to create a fighter. I'm trying to put out quality. Trying to produce some results and put our little city on the map out here. I mean, come on, help me out.
Right, that's one reason why I was excited and asked to interview you and be my first guest on here is because I hear a lot. You don't have a lot of athletes right now, but from the 7 or 8 or whatever of actual fighters that you have, I hear a lot of good things. Like I hear a lot of results and positive things that come from those people. And I went to
Mm-hmm.
school for a while with Hunter Sweat, and he just like we mentioned earlier, placed second in the tough man, and that's not an easy thing to do.